everyone. My name is Lauren Piper. I am a mother of two. I am a breast cancer survivor, a twice cancer survivor. I currently live in Montserrat, and I'm also a Canadian citizen. So my journey with breast cancer started about 8 years ago. But it really started when I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma when I was about 16 years old. So that's about 22 years ago or something like that. I had chemotherapy and radiation therapy. And my oncologist recently did indicate that my breast cancer recently is a long-term effect of radiation from when I had it the first time, when I got treatment for Hodgkin's lymphoma. So it's like a twofold story. So it's not just a basic, I ended up with a gene that turned on. It was not that. Living in Montserrat and being diagnosed with breast cancer did present financial issues. I was impacted financially. I had to first go to Antigua to get a biopsy done. So I had to fly there, do that and come back. Got the results back, and then I flew to Canada. After treatment in Canada and I came back, I had to travel every 6 months for a checkup for at least 2 years. So and during those ones, I'd also have to do a mammogram. Each time I went, I'd have to do a mammogram and a few other tests. So yes, it did impact me financially. The most challenging moments I faced during my recent breast cancer journey would be having to leave some of my support system on island while I traveled abroad. I mean, I went to another support system because I went to my dad, my stepmom, and my sisters, my brother, but I had to leave my other sister and my mom one side. So that kind of impacted me, made it a little challenging. Another challenging moment would be acceptance. And this happened throughout from the beginning of the journey to my new normal now, because the journey hasn't ended for me, because to me, it's a continuous journey, hasn't ended yet. So accepting that I had breast cancer, accepting that I had to go through chemotherapy and radiation again, and knowing what those were before, I had to accept my scars. I had to accept doing different tests, similar to the first time, because some of them were really painful. So I had to accept all of that and accept that, I really had to go through this all over again. So those were my most notable challenging moments. And that's not all, but it's the most notable ones. What gave me hope was a Bible verse that my mom had sent to me. She would send them all the time, but this one just made it, touched me, because I was in pain at the time when I was speaking to her, and she said, Lauren, go and read 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And with that, I found a comfort and strength within there in order to go through the pain, go through the treatments and everything. So that is what mostly gave me hope, that scripture. I think there would be a big difference in having a mammogram machine on island, because I don't know if you can see this, but this is a reminder that I got with one of my little packages that they give some of the cancer survivors. This big one, this big ball, is what you would feel when you do a self-check. So this is what you will find. But this little mini one at the top is what the mammogram will actually pick up. So there's a big difference in size. I haven't shown this to anybody because I had forgotten about it, but I remember today. So having a mammogram machine on island makes it much more easier to catch that lump earlier, much earlier. And early detection is key for survival, because before, breast cancer was a killer for women, yes, earlier on, because they would find these lumps really late. So when you find it earlier, even if it's a grade 3, which is more aggressive cancer, you finding it early gives you a better chance of survival. So having one on island is much better. And then it's easier for more financially impacted women to actually access that test, rather than have to go overseas, plus find a taxi fare, plus find accommodations, and then pay for the test also. So it'd be much easier to have it here, and gives early detection, gives you a better chance of survival. Someone who is about to embark on this journey of finding out you have breast cancer, because that starts with you finding a lump or the doctor finding a lump, and then you have to wait for results to come back. And that waiting period is mentally challenging. It will take a lot out of you. So I would say for anybody who's about to step onto this journey, you would definitely need a strong support system. I don't mean it has to be a financial support system, but it has to be somebody who understands what you're going through, or would understand you as a person, knowing that you're going through something like that, and be able to be there for you, whether they sit with you and you say nothing, or whether we go out and have a laugh, or we sit down and you let me cry, whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable and help you on this journey. That's what you really need. And then you have to remember to smile, because a smile, when you put a smile on your face, you start feeling it on the inside. So it doesn't matter what storm is going on around you, it gives you that hope that, you know what, I can do this. And talk to people that has been through this, with the waiting and finding out, yes, you have cancer, or no, you don't have it, but that waiting period is still there. Then you can find out somebody who has been through chemotherapy, who has been through radiation, who has been through surgery. Maybe they've had a mastectomy done. Maybe they had a partial mastectomy or a full mastectomy. You can always find that. So you find support groups on Facebook also, because I've enrolled in one on Facebook, I know that for sure, but they have a lot of support groups all over that you can also access. So I would say access that, because it makes the journey not easier, but bearable. And then you know that somebody is there is going through it, and some people may have it worse than you, and you might figure out so mine is worse for me, yes, but it's not the worst out there. For women in the community, my message to you is early detection is the key for survival, for me, honestly. I can't stress enough that women, we need to do our own self-breast exam, and that way you know what your breast feels like. Some of us have a dense tissue, some of us don't, some of us are bigger than some of us are smaller than some, but you have to know your own self. Because a part of me finding out I had breast cancer, I found a lump, yes, but before I did find the lump, I felt inside that I wasn't right. It didn't feel balanced. So you have to know yourself also. So that's my message for them, is to don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go and find out. And the mammogram test sounds scary, because they're going to take your breast and squeeze it between two plates. Yes, it sounds scary, but it is definitely not as scary as it sounds. I found out that the hard way. When I was done, I was like, okay, that's it. Couldn't believe it was already over before it even really began. It's a little uncomfortable, but you work with the technicians and they work with you. And if you feel uncomfortable, they will definitely adjust the plates or whatever. But don't be scared of doing that, and don't be scared of trying to find out what's going on, because I know a lot of us are scared of going to the doctor to find out that we are ill, and nobody wants to hear you have cancer. So my advice is, do not be scared. Early detection is always key. Thank you very much for listening. Please support Helping Hands for Glendon.